Okay, the opening match, the third annual Parade Champion Tour in 1986, was a Gauntlet Match. The Great Kabuki, apparently managed or seconded by Michael Hayes, and they had him take on three guys, one at a time. The first match was against young Native American Mark Youngblood, and Mark Youngblood attempted to take Great Kabuki down, but the second match was with the local lower mid carder Jerry Allen. I thought Jerry Allen should have been the opening match against Great Kabuki, but no, it would. You said Mark Youngblood would have given.
Because if you had opened versus Jerry Allen, nobody would be questioning who's going to win that match to continue.
And Mark Youngblood would have given an attempted first win of credibility.
Yeah,
that's what he took on Jerry Allen, Mark Young, and Great Kabuki dropped a hand chop to either Mark Young's face or throat, and then easily pinned Mark Youngblood. Great Kabuki then got a nerve hold onto Jerry Allen and made him submit. Then came up young Steve Simpson, who were very much his twin brother Scott Simpson. They very much remind me of the Von Erichs. I remember reading about them a lot in magazines, and very much reminds me of a Kerry Von Erich. At times, Kabuki, it was a back and forth thing, but he overcame Great Kabuki with a great sunset flip and made sure his legs land on top of Kabuki's arms and made the pin and got the pin and ended the gauntlet. And Steve Simpson upset Kabuki in the opening match in this three-person gauntlet. Gentleman Chris Adams comes in and takes down both Michael Hayes and Great Kabuki. But Great Kabuki fails this three-gauntlet as Steve Simpson ends this match defeating Great Kabuki.
Yep, exactly how it went.
Our second match of the three-handed Parade Champions is Brian Adidas and Mr. Electricity Steve Regal. And Brian Adidas is the Texas Heavyweight Champion. He was. Have I got that correct?
I believe yes, because he retained the title.
And I kept saying that, and then I thought Brian Adidas would become the Texas Heavyweight Champion. Yes, we talked about a lot of other things during commentary.
But don't feel bad. You're not the only person who made a mistake in that match, because I kept calling him Brian Adams.
Yeah, and the referee is a very young Brian Adams who would become Crush in the WWF and Demolition. And then until one moment that I saw his face, wow, it is Brian Adams.
Yeah.
Very young.
I kept calling Brian Adidas Brian Adams.
They misspelled Brian Adidas' name by one D. They kept saying Brian Adidas and not Brian Adidas. Oh. But it was a very good match. I've seen Steve Regal in the wrestle for the AWA and in here World Class and wrestled Crockett. He wrestled Crockett for the against Denny Brown for the NWA World Junior title during the Great American Bash tour. It was coming up in a month later. He's wrestling Brian Adidas for the Texas Heavyweight title, and very good match. Very good match. And Brian Adias did defeat Steve Regal and retain the Texas Heavyweight title. All right, the next tag team match was Gentleman Chris Adams and
Chris Adams and
Brickhouse Brown, sorry.
Versus the Grappler,
and John Tatum. Originally, I thought it was going to be John Tatum and Jack Victory, because John Tatum did a lot of tag team matches with Jack Victory and John Tatum did a lot of tag team matches. I didn't expect the Grappler because I was confused. It's a problem. World Class has a serious problem of focusing a camera on who's with what, and what's going on in a pinfall. They have serious camera problems.
Because they're more focused on live events than they are on TV.
Yeah, it's focused on the people and then the ring, then focusing what's going on in the match itself. That's what's hard to it's hard to figure out who's with who and who's wrestling who. But also another what we would be called eye candy, but has a mouth that doesn't shut up. Missy Hyatt, who's with John Tatum, and I labeled her during commentary. She is the ultimate old school slut, competitive with another one, Tammy Sykes Sammy. that's a competitive. Who's the top two in professional wrestling? That's an understatement.
But when it comes to that high-pitched, annoying voice, you're not going to hear another person that high-pitched.
Very annoying.
Probably until decades later when it came to Vicky Guerrero.
But a fan had a sign at ringside. And now I'm forgetting the heck the sign said.
It was about pigs and Missy Hyatt.
Yeah, calling all pigs. It's a Missy Hyatt on the bottom.
And my complaint was, why are you insulting pigs that badly?
I thought when Missy Hyatt entered the ring, she was going to carry her Gucci bag, whatever had it, and she usually hits people with a Gucci bag.
But now she decided to slap Chris Adams in the chin.
But it was a pretty good tag team match. Gentleman Chris Adams had his eye patch. It was either the Freebirds or Gino Hernandez, his former tag team partner, that caused an eye injury, an eye patch. It's still going to be difficult for somebody to wear an eye patch, especially with, let's say, Jake Roberts with his eyepiece when he was blinded. Is how these wrestlers work with one eye, or and they're going to wear a cast, when kind of vaguely handicapped in a way. Definitely working with one eye.
Yeah, it affects peripheral vision.
Yeah, without
how you compete.
But I've seen Brickhouse Brown, who was another pretty good African American wrestler. I haven't read about him much. I know he had a recent shoot interview I saw. Now, John Tatum, the grappler. John Tatum, the only thing John Tatum's ever been known for is he's been associated with Missy Hyatt, and she gets more attention than he does. I don't know if they're dating in real life, if they were married, because they sure as hell acted like it. Similar to when she was with Eddie Gilbert. That's all John Tatum was ever known for, is being associated with. I wouldn't even put him over as a better wrestler. If you can make a top 20 list of the wrestlers who don't mount to much, John Tatum and Mr. Electric and Steve Regal. There's some wrestlers that don't mount to much in the ring. They can have so wrestling ability, skills, working. They're so. John Tatum.
So basically, a step above the jobbers or performance enhancers.
Right above. Yeah, they're a mid carder. John Tatum, but the thing is that what problem is associated with Missy Hyatt. Association with her, it really hurt him more. The grappler, I believe, is always been Len Denton, and honest to God, the grappler did more ring work than John Tatum did, without a doubt.
Which does not surprise me from all the commentary that has been made against John Tatum.
But then when Chris Adams goes to cover the grappler, John Tatum tried to off the top rope, but Brickhouse Brown prevented that. So, gentlemen, Chris Adams and Brickhouse Brown win the match over John Tatum and the grappler.
Yep.
All right, our next match was for the World Class Wrestling Association's World Heavyweight title. Rick Rude, you can say his actual name.
I've seen Rick Rude.
And I've never been a fan of Rick Rude. However, he very much impressed me in this match. He's taking on the big man, Bruiser Brody. This is practically, it could be called a heel versus a heel match, but I think Brody was the popular. He was the face with the fans. And Rick Rude is managed by a young, blonde Percy Pringle, who would later become Paul Bearer in the WWF. Now, this was a really great match. Rick Rude was showing his wrestling skill. He had to fight to defend his title against a big man. Wow. He really fought hard. He took it to Brody. Who could take it to Bruiser Brody? It's like a secondary version of an Andre. Now, they're also Big John Studd, though.
And you never saw the gimmick at all during the match.
You never saw
him as a wrestler.
You never saw Rick Rude's gimmick. Because in his WWF, Rick Rude's gimmick was the Chippendale gimmick, and he's the quote-unquote the ladies' man. And that's where he sucked as a wrestler. All he ever does is show himself off.
But in this match, none of that was
he proved and showed himself a really great wrestler because you had to, Rick Rude. You're taking on a big, powerful... This man will kill you. And this man, unfortunately, met his demise with that kind of attitude, unfortunately. But Bruiser Brody also, with his powerful ways, he lost control and threw Rick Rude over the top rope.
And according to the rules of the company, that's a disqualification.
World Class's well-notable rules, and Crockett, some other territories use the same rule. It's called just a way to get away, to end a way to give an ending. He threw Rick Rude over the top rope, which by company rules is an over-the-top rope disqualification, which is one of the rules I've always hated as a fan. It's stupid, but it's just a way to cop out and give the champion a way of keeping his title.
So I'm not as against the rule back at that time, because back at that time you have to think what the outside was like. You either had concrete or you had maybe wood, but you never had the padding that you had today, so it's a lot more dangerous to throw people over the top rope. So in that respect, I get the rule. It is to protect the wrestlers to a degree.
The match similarity, now not the way how Rick Rude fought and defended his title against Bruiser Brody, but the over-the-top rope disqualification was a way for Rick Rude to, how do you beat Brody? Brody's going to have to be disqualified one way or another.
Exactly.
It was similarity to where Ric Flair defended the title against Road Warrior Hawk and Road Warrior Animal in both stadium shows. But how do you get away from how is Ric Flair going to keep his title from two big, powerful men over a top rope disqualification? Right. You know,
because then you market that they couldn't control their emotions and they got disqualified even though they were more dominant. So
yeah, and
that's how you market stuff like that.
But the disqualification rule with World Class, it broke away from the National Wrestling Alliance. It ceded what they call ceded away from the NWA because NWA, the champion, can keep the title on a disqualification. Where World Class, you would lose the title on disqualification, and World Class got fed up with that and they broke away. So Rick Rude was the current American Heavyweight Champion, and he was the first one to be renamed the company's first World Heavyweight Champion. And this was a good title defense, though, as you said, it's if toward the ending of the show, mid of the show, probably a Von Erich is going to be an
which ultimately
match.
Highlights one of the problems with world class wrestling is that even your world champions weren't promoted nearly as much as the Von Erich
have too much. The company has too much focus on the Von Erichs, and that as much as they did great business, it was their failure. It was their downfall. But I'm going to hand to Rick Rude. I'm not a fan of yours because you're damn gimmick. You're a ladies' man gimmick. But you proved to me a great wrestler taking on Bruiser Brody. You fought hard, and you really took it to Bruiser Brody. Yeah. You impressed me for the first time, and unfortunately, Rude, you did pass away. For the first time in history, you proved to me you could fight. Mm-hmm. Of course, a Parade of Champions does not end without a Von Erich match. And it's a 6-man, again, for the first annual show, we go with the third annual show, and with the Von Erichs, but a mixture, the Von Erichs had to get mixed, a different mixture. Yeah. With Kevin Von Erich apparently with an arm injury and his arm in a sling.
Which they indicated was a dislocated shoulder.
And he is replaced by Steve Simpson. And also there is the add-on of Lance Von Erich, who is a quote-unquote cousin of the Von Erichs. So it's Kerry Von Erich, Lance Von Erich, and Steve Simpson taking on the Freebirds, Michael Hayes, Terry Gordy, and Brody Roberts. And the Freebirds have the World Class 6-man tag team title. The different stipulation is the wrestlers of the show it's a lumberjack match with straps, and this is an elimination match. So it's a hell of a match to end the show. It's a Von Erich match.
But it also began with a surprise because you weren't expecting the first person to be eliminated to be Kerry
Von Erich. Von Erich gets eliminated, and this is when doesn't a Von Erich show, a Parade of Champions show, end without a Von Erich winning? But the Von Erichs remained at ringside. But the one thing that the Von Erichs still kept on cheating in their own ways. Mike Von Erich apparently has been interfering, and the referee told him to leave apparently because you were interfering too much, like 3 times. And at one point, even they were throwing the Freebirds out of the ring to get strapped by the faces.
And by the way, the Von Erichs never actually left; they still stayed there the whole time, including Fritz.
And Fritz stayed, Mike stayed. I think did Kevin stay?
They all stayed.
At one moment, Mike Von Erich and Fritz got a hold of Michael Hayes, bent him over, and strapped him on the ass. Oh man, this company is such. Everything has to be the Von Erichs, we can do anything we want to do. The eliminations. The eliminations were.
The next person who got eliminated was Michael Hayes. He got eliminated. I want to say by Lance, but I'm not positive it was Lance or Steve. I think it was Lance Von Erich that eliminated him.
Then
Steve.
Terry Gordy pinned Steve Simpson.
No. Buddy Roberts pinned him after the off-the-top rope maneuver.
Right.
And then the end was weird.
And then came... apparently, they were going to... They threw... Apparently, it was Lance Von Erich threw Terry Gordy over the top rope. Now, Terry Gordy, of course, begins getting strapped by the faces. He apparently runs and takes off. But
what they indicated was apparently in this kind of lumberjack match, being thrown over the top rope
was a battle royal rule.
Right. So Gordy was
apparently eliminated, which they didn't announce that part.
No,
they did not announce that part. I thought Terry took off because he was going to get strapped all to hell. Then Lance Von Erich gets the famous Von Erich Iron Claw to Buddy Roberts, puts him down, and the referee countered Buddy Roberts down for a 3 count. So Lance Von Erich gets the win over Buddy Roberts, with Terry Gordy apparently being countered out in a sense with a battle royal elimination rule with the top rope. And it is Lance Von Erich, Steve Simpson, and Kerry Von Erich, the new world-class 6-man tag team titles. Well, again, the Von Erich main event, the Von Erichs win for the 3rd annual Predator Champions.
Oh, man.